My YouTube channel. My name is Michael Mastro. This is Vastu Creations. Today we're going to look at the chart of Chief Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. Uh, when I'm recording this, he announced his retirement today. So if you look using sidereal zodiac and not the Western tropical zodiac, which is the true placement of sidereal is the true placement of the planets. If you looked at his chart, you would see, if you looked at the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see the constellation associated with Leo rising at 25 degrees. Any planets like Mars, Sun, Saturn, slightly Rahu and K2, which are within 5 degrees of that rising sign, have a lot of impact in the chart one way or another. And in Transformational Vedic astrology, we give precedence to the Multicorna signs, which are Aries, first sign of Aries ruled by Mars, fourth sign of Cancer ruled by Moon, fifth sign of Leo ruled by Sun, sixth sign of Virgo ruled by Mercury, seventh sign of Libra ruled by Venus, ninth sign of Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, and the 11th sign of Aquarius ruled by Saturn. So wherever these Multicorna signs fall in the North Indian chart are the areas of life that he is working on in this lifetime. So working on something to do with government, politics, belief systems, working on something to do with being detached from whatever decisions that he makes, not allowing his personal beliefs or political beliefs to interfere with the decisions he makes, being a leader, connecting his life purpose with leading, and then we have some wealth and fame and stability in marriage, success, focusing on creativity in his whatever he does, his investments and partnerships all around. So let's look and see how these planets are operating, and then we'll see when they're operating during certain events in his life, and then we'll talk about what the remedies are for the chart. So, Sun is at 29 degrees. It's weak in old age and not well placed in the 12th house. It's ruling this house of life purpose. So it says that his life purpose can be connected to Sun, leadership, government, possibly politics, but in a detached way. Moon is ruling that house of detachment, placed in the house of research. So it says that he can have growth, spiritual growth in his life through letting go of attachments and research into justice for the public. Moon is public. And Moon is functional malefic along with Rahu and K2. So whenever you see a Multicorna sign, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11, in the 6th, 8th, or 12th, the Dustana challenging houses, they can become challenging in that person's life from time to time, either through the birth chart or the transit chart. So Moon here is not afflicting anything. It's fairly benign, but it needs to be transformed, not strengthened. So he does that through women's rights to choose. Anyway, Mars is at 22 degrees, close to the most effective point, ruling this 9th house. So it says that good fortune will come through justice. And Mars again is placed in this house of detachment. So being detached in his decisions for justice based on the rule of law, not his personal opinions or political opinions. And he has the courage, Mars gives courage and passion to make these decisions. Then we have Mercury, gives wealth. Ruling the house, so Virgo ruled by Mercury in the second house gives wealth and fame, status. Placed in the first house, which has to do with his purpose and also government, and this ability to analyze and make decisions based on analysis. He's a Mensa, which means he's very, very high functioning, has a high functioning intellect, and he's also written some books. And so his purpose is connected to analyzing and making decisions, giving advice. Jupiter is ruling the house of, here we have Aquarius ruled by Saturn. And so Saturn has to do with the partnerships. And again, and Saturn is sitting in this house of transformation and research. So his partnerships are connected to researching the law and making decisions that affect the public. So Saturn and Moon are conjunct here. Venus is, Libra is ruled by Venus, the third house. So his success comes through Venus sitting in the house of stability. So Venus itself is law, stability, beauty, luxury. So his success comes through all of those things, the legal system, creating balance and harmony. And then, Saturn also, he's very hardworking and very much modest. Even though he's pretty wealthy, he drives an old Volvo, he dresses, not in with old suits that are not contemporary. So old school, modest. So Rahu and K2 are always balancing the material and spiritual. So Rahu gives desire for material success, and K2 is giving insights into success for the larger public. This is personal success, and this is success for government, belief systems, etc., spiritual nature. So balancing the two. And this can create some controversy over his decisions, like abortion rights and women's rights to choose, etc. So let's look at the timing of events. In 67, he met his wife during a Venus period. Venus represents wife, signifier for wife. In 79, he became chief counsel during a Rahu period, again giving this desire for success. 84, he became a high clerk during a Venus period, again giving this success and fame. Then we have, he became a Supreme Court justice in 94 during a Mars period. Mars connected to his good fortune through government. And then he wrote a book in 05 called Active Liberty during a Rahu-Jupiter period. Jupiter is, teaching and publishing. And then in 2010, he wrote another book called Making Democracy Work during a Mercury period. Again, Mercury has to do with writing and publishing, communications, um, analyzing democracies and how they work. Uh, he was in an accident, a bicycling accident, where he fractured his shoulder in 2013. This is a circular chart that shows the outer circle with the transit, the inner circle with the natal planets in his birth chart, very similar to this chart, only in circular form. So if we look at the transiting Rahu and K2, they're within 3 degrees of his rising sign. So they can afflict 6 out of his 12 houses. And in fact, K2, which can represent unexpected events, is afflicting the first house, which is the body. And it's also afflicting Venus. Yeah, I think those are the main two. And natal Rahu and K2 are within 5 degrees of transiting Rahu and K2 as well. So then, on January 26, 2022, which is actually today, he announced his retirement. That's during a Saturn period, and which Saturn is sitting in this house of changes, and it's Rahu is afflicting Moon and Mercury. So Moon again has to do with these changes and ending of things. So and then Mercury has to do with his notoriety, his status. So his status is definitely changing as he retires. So what can we do to strengthen this chart? He has really strong Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter, pointing to his long and successful legal career. And he has good longevity. In fact, I couldn't find any health issues that he has with Saturn sitting in this house of longevity and being fairly strong, although weakened by its placement. So he has good longevity, and but let's look and see what we could do to strengthen the chart. So we could strengthen Venus, which would give even stronger success, but I don't know how he could have much stronger success. We could strengthen Mercury, which would give him, again, more wealth and fame, but he's already got that. We could strengthen Jupiter, which would strengthen his relationships, but he's also, he's got great partnerships. So basically, Jupiter is connected to, his Saturn is connected to his partnerships on the Supreme Court. So he's partners with all these people in the decision making, and that affects the public. So strengthening Jupiter would be good. Strengthening Saturn would definitely be good with strengthening those partnerships. Mars would give even more courage and passion. And that all can be done with a silver locket containing the Devata yantras or wearing the gemstones for each of those planets. What we don't want to do is strengthen Moon, which is challenging. We don't want to make it more challenging, but we could transform it by helping women. And like most successful people, he's already doing service for women in terms of helping women have the right to choose their own decisions about their body. And he's already transforming Rahu and K2 by helping those who cannot help themselves by making certain decisions that help the public. And there are spiritual affiliations, so that that every spiritual organization is free to participate in the United States. So he's already remedying the challenging planets. Just a locket, which we have on our website, called a kavash, or EMF pendant, we also call it, because it also helps protect you from 5G. But it contains the Devata yantras for the planets we want to strengthen. So you can find that at vastucreations.com. As well as, if you're interested in getting a consultation, you can go to www.vastucreations.com under services, getting a yearly reading. You can see it's quite accurate and helpful guide to your life. And if you want to learn Transformational Vedic Astrology, you can go to the same website and under courses. Thank you so much for listening. You can also get certified. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.